B. Oh, phooey. And I just roll, and then it starts to do that thing where it puts my translation box in the background. Oh, no, it's not in the background. It's just on top of OBS. Okay. Why? Okay, so another, I could vaguely make out the entrance to the room, but we got that whole bowl thing. Okay, the entrance of the room was vaguely visible. Very nondescript door. Now that I take a closer look, I can see the entrance to the room on the recommendation. Recommendation? Suggestion? And the entrance to the room also looked hazy. Except some kanji got messed up in here. Yeah, I get what the sense is trying to say, but this is obviously wrong. Now, does it show up correctly later on? No, it shows up wrong twice. Okay, there's no way to save that then. Let it be. We grabbed it from the second place and put it in the first place, but it's wrong both times. I can see it. Which one?
手前の扉です。
The door in the front. Well, why would you ask which one if the question was front or back? Okay. Is the other door to the computer room?
あれが2つあるうちの eBayF 連絡用の加減圧エレベーター搭乗口の一つです。
That's the one of the two entrances to the decompression elevator that is connecting to IBF. Okay. Is there like an airlock to it? Does it have two elevators?
eBayF には4つのエレベーターがあります。うち2つは研究員連絡用、うち2つは搬入用です。
There are 4 elevators to IBF. 2 of them are for contacting researchers, and 2 of them are for carrying goods, right? One of which would have a service, obviously. There are 4 elevators to IBF. Should be an I. 2 of them, okay, there are 4 elevators to IBF. 2 of them are for researchers to communicate with each other. And 2 of them are for loading and unloading. Well, I don't know if it's communication. It's more like just researchers to go down there and back up. I asked this question when I first read this, and I'm asking it again. If one of them is down from Himmel, one of the person elevators, then where's the other one? Would Tsugumi be right in suspecting that a different elevator than the one in Himmel could possibly lead to IBF in the original game?
ですが現在、使えるエレベーターは1つしかないんです。他は事故の影響で、現在すべて使用不能です。
Were Tsugumi and Takeshi in the elevator at the beginning of the original game? They don't get an elevator at the beginning of this game. Were they actually that elevator actually going to lead to IBF, and it got stuck by just pure bad luck on Tsugumi's part? Was Takeshi headed for IBF with Tsugumi? But right now, there's only one elevator we can use. Everything else is currently out of commission due to the accident. We don't know what happened to 2 of them. We know one of them just like exploded or something. Can't we use the elevator to get out to sea? Or get up to the sea? Or up to the surface?
残念ながら、ヒンメルと eBayF との移動だけです。 eBayF の職員はここで倉成さんたちが乗ってきたエレベーターに乗り換えて会場と行き来をしているんです。
I mean, I thought that these elevators only went up to Himmel. You had to go all the way down to Dritte stock before you could get on. Unfortunately, it's just a trip between Himmel and IBF. The staff of IBF switched to the elevator Kurinari-san and the others board here and travel to and from the sea, or the surface.
直接 eBayF と会場がつながっているのは現在使用不能になっている2つの搬入用エレベーターだけです。
But one of the loading elevators does go all the way up, which is interesting. The only direct connection between IBF and the surface are the two currently unusable transport elevators. We don't know what happened to the other one. We know one of them just got exploded again, yeah. I see, okay. How conveniently inconvenient. I hurry to the only elevator door that connects to IBF. Meanwhile, Sora gave me an explanation of IBF.
eBayF には通常のレミューよりもさらに高圧のガスが充満しています。eBayF もまた飽和潜水仕様というわけです。
IBF is filled with even more high-pressure gas than normal Lemu. IBF is also designed for saturation diving, or based off saturation diving.
その方が特殊な細菌の研究に適しているということもあるのでしょう。eBayF の内部気圧は実に約 12.5 気圧。
It's probably better to study special bacteria that way. IBF's internal air pressure is actually 12.5 atmospheres.
皆さんにはあの部屋に入っていただきます。
I will have you enter that room.
そして約17分の加圧を行いながら eBayF へと下降していきます。
And then, while applying 17 minutes of pressurization, we descend to IBF. And in this one, does that happen at the same time? Like it
念
pressurizes
の
as
た
you
め
descend?
申し上げておきますが、崩落時間が迫っています。どんなアクシデントが発生するかわかりません。
Yeah, I know in the ritual game you have to sit there and it compresses, but I don't think you have to do that here. Just to be clear, I'm unsure of the time of collapse. I don't know what kind of accident will occur.
気圧の違う eBayF からここへ戻るためには約34分の減圧時間が必要になります。
Well, I think it turns out that IBF is fine. Basically, all the stuff connecting IBF to Lemu will break far above IBF, and so IBF just kind of gets left unharmed. In order to return here from IBF, where the air pressure is different, approximately 34 minutes of decompression time will be required.
ここから先はすぐに戻ることはできません。皆さん、それだけは忘れないでください。
From here on out, we can't go back right away. Everyone, please don't forget that. Right, and Lemu is projected to collapse tomorrow morning. Even now, the countdown to collapse of Lemu continues. There might be no turning back. I have to prepare myself. Preparing myself complete. My heart had already been decided. I can't leave Coco alone in this situation.
わかったわ。
I understood. Everyone must feel the same way. Well, Tsugumi's more like, I don't care if I come back. Everyone nodded the same way. So maybe in this remake she didn't forget Chammy and Lemu. We arrive at the door. That's always such a stupid thing. There's some silly things about the original Ever17 writing. That's one of them. Standing in front of... They, like, had to do that to make it work, the plot work, but, like... Maybe they could have thought of something different, because that was just absurd. Standing in front of the elevator boarding gate, I can clearly see the door farther in. The plate on the door read computer room. Okay, hopefully we don't get there. Hopefully I get a bad ending first. Is the head of Sora, or the brain of Sora, on the other side of that door, and the main body on the other side? Is there an empty head, or is it a real body on the other side of the door? What do you mean by empty head? Oh. Sora means empty. Okay. Interesting. So empty head is just Sora's head. Sora's head or Sora's body. Whatever you want to call it. While I was thinking about that, the elevator entrance door opens in front of me. I gently lay Coco down on the sofa-like chairs surrounding us. Yeah, but they reused the whole zero buoyancy elevator background, even this elevator you would think would be shaped differently than an egg. Her breathing is unstable, and she looks like she's in pain. Her face is pale. I have to hurry. I resent that it takes 17 minutes. Yeah. I resent the time it takes, even if it's just 17 minutes. Something like that. I leaned back in the remaining chairs and watched over Coco. Or the remaining chair. The graph makes it look like there's 2 stops between Himmel and IBF. The decompression, or the compression, elevator wasn't as big as the one we'd ridden when we came to the facility, but there was plenty of space.
扉が閉まると加圧が開始します。それと同時にエレベーターも動き出しますから。
The door closes. The pressure will begin at the same time. The elevator will start moving. Right, just kind of slowly take 17 minutes to move down. Which isn't necessarily the safest design. Sora didn't move from where she was, but was talking to us from outside the entrance. Sora, what's wrong? Won't you come with me?
先ほど言いましたが、私は...
Like I said, I am. Come on, let's go. Why are you hesitating? Because she continues to make a fool of himself. I casually reach out to Sora. I knew I wouldn't be able to get a hold of her, but I did. But... all this nonsense. The moment I tried to touch her, sparks flew through the air. It does feel like I'm being repelled. A transparent wall suddenly appears in front of the door. A wall of burning red flames. Wow. Sora doesn't explain anything. She's just like burning stuff. Surprised, I pull my hand back and the door of the entrance closes immediately. Sora, now!
ここから先は eBayF 内のシステムの管轄エリアです。
From here on out, you're under the jurisdiction of the IBF system.
私の管轄はあくまで海中のレミュー内なので、侵入者とみなされて eBayF には降りられないんです。
My jurisdiction is still within the undersea Lamu, so I am considered an intruder and can't go down to IBF.
残念ですが、ここでお見送りさせていただきます。
Unfortunately, I will see you off here. Inside the decompression or compression chamber, sealed from the outside world. Sound of the gas increasing the air pressure begins to echo.
それでは皆さん、どうかご無事で。
Well then, everyone, please be safe. Animation like that of the intro, although it seems to take far less than 17 minutes for this process to occur. Come on, Simulator, would you expect there to be a 17-minute long cutscene? I don't know. If I were to build this game, I would be trolly like that. Then the elevator begins to slide downward.
Tiefe 70 Meter.
Depth. I already know that Tiefe is depth. Okay, 17 meters. 70 meters, sorry.
Tiefe 80 Meter. Tiefe 90 Meter.
Time to learn some German. Multiples of 10 in German tutorial. Oh, it is. I look at the elevator door where Sora was. Naturally, Sora wasn't there. And Takeshi says out loud, "I'll be waiting, Sora. After Coco's treatment, it's your turn now." I turn to the door and mutter to myself.
ここのことですっかり忘れてたわね。
I completely forgot about Coco. You did? According to Sora, her own program is very special. In order to operate it, the machine has to be special.
確かにここのコンピューターは特殊よ。だいたい空を見てたら想像つくけどね。
It's true that the computers here are special. I can pretty much imagine it when I look at Sora. What do you mean?
空の場合、同時に並行的処理で考え、発想や考え方も進化しているみたいよね。
In Sora's case, at the same time, she seems to be thinking in parallel processing, and her ideas seem to be evolved. Well, this is the misuse of the term parallel processing, because as far as I understand, people are very, we are very single core. We don't do things in parallel. In Sora's case, it seems like she thinks simultaneously in parallel, and her ideas and thinking are also evolved. Maybe Sora does, but no.
これって非ノイマン型で第5世代のコンピューターにしかできないことなのよ。
A non-Neumann type, something only a 5th generation computer can do. Yeah, but she won't run on a 6th gen. Now, 5th generation, I guess is what he's trying to say.
一般的なコンピューターってノイマン型で決められた命令を手順を追って処理するだけなの。
A typical computer is a Neumann type. It just takes care of predetermined commands and processes them according to procedure.
早い話、第4世代まではただ早いだけの計算機ってとこね。
To put it simply, until the fourth generation, it's just a fast calculator.
空の性能だとさらに上の第6、7世代ぐらいいってるんじゃないかしら。
The performance of Sora, I think it's about 6 or 7 generations higher than that.
でも第5世代以上のコンピューターなんて実用化されているなんて聞いたことないし。
I never heard of classifying computers in general by generations. This is not a thing. So I never heard of a computer with a of 5 generations or more being put to practical use. But there's no evidence that a computer of the 5th generation or higher has been put to practical use.
空は開発段階の試作モデルで運用実地テストで使われているのかも。
Sora might be a prototype model in the development stage, and it's being used for practical testing. Operational test in a place like this?
こんな場所だからいいのよ。今から私たちが行く場所って何だったかしら？
It's fine because it's a place like this. What's the place we're going now? IBF, a top secret research facility.
空だってそこで開発された可能性があるわ。レミューより先に EBF ってあったんでしょ？
There's a possibility that Sora was developed here too, or there too. There was an IBF before Lamu, right? Does that mean we might be able to find a way to help Sora?
探してみる価値はありそうね。だけどその前に。
Looks like it's worth looking for, but before that, we have an actual person dying. Use ice fell on Coco. Yeah, I know, we're definitely going to save Coco. Our eyes focused on Coco. What under Himmel? Is that Heaven Himmel again, or?
Tiefe 119 Meter.
Hell. 119 meters deep we are. And then the elevator arrived at the bottom floor. And then the door opened. It's the same as... Okay, this is annoying. The background. The passageway continues on, similar to Lemu's emergency passageway. No, it may even be narrower. Not according to your background artwork. I'm trying to remember the IBF. Was there a hallway background for IBF in the original? I think so. I forgot how narrow it was. But anyway, the text doesn't match the picture in this case. I mean, it's about the same width as the regular, like, public corridors of Lamu, according to the picture. The emergency corridors were narrower. Or staff corridors. I don't think we saw emergency corridors in the remake. That's the problem. It's like, that was, yeah, like, we never saw those in the remake didn't clearly delineate certain corridors as emergency corridors. It just showed the, like, public ones and the staff ones. Whereas in the original, it's the public ones and the emergency ones. So it looks like that was like a leftover thing, almost. Somehow I got the impression that it was more inorganic and cold to the building above. When we stepped into the corridor, the lights up to a few steps away turned on automatically. So it's like proximity lighting. That's funny if you design that in. Trying to save electricity by making things just weird. It's two. This must be computer controlled. As we move, the places where the lights came on move little by little. There are several branches of the corridor, but all the way down is a watertight door. I wonder if IBF is submerged except for this place, this section. I wonder if everything except the IBF part was submerged. It might be this part of IBF, but I think IBF is all completely open, if I understand. I don't know what they did in the remake, though. Anyway, the number of rooms you can enter is limited. Fortunately, I knew the location of the examination room right away. Why, because there was a sign. I quickly turned the handle and pushed the door open. It's a lot of carbon rings. There were several normal beds in the examination room, and there was also a LEMARV that looked more high performance than the one in the infirmary. Other than that, I saw a mysterious medical device I'd only ever seen in fiction.
AR シリーズの最上位機種、レム ARE があるじゃない。まずはあれで個々を再検査してみましょう。治療法がわかるかもしれないから。
There's the highest ranking model in the AR series. The LEMU ARE. The LEM ARE as opposed to the ARV. Let's re-examine Coco with that first. You might be able to find a cure. With the help of the kid and Tsugumi, I laid Coco down on her back and laid her down on the LEMR.
よかった。だいたい操作はレム ARV と同じね。
Thank goodness, the controls are more or less the same as the LEMARV. Don't you just hit go? With Yu's manipulation, the arm activated and the laser scan began, and the arm with the needle on it began to move. Diagnostic data images were displayed one after another on the medical monitor. And then, that's and then, or and, the results of the diagnosis appear. Well, it knows it. Tief Blau, 2017, revision 17.
Tief Blau.
Tief Blau. Just like Sora said, so what's the cure?
待って、今調べるから。
Wait, I'll look into it now.
名称、ティーフ・ブラウ。
Name, Tief Blau.
ティーフ・ブラウは EBF で発見された 極めて致死性の高い悪性ウイルス。発症後の死亡率は 85% 以上。
Tiefblau is an extremely lethal malevolent virus discovered on IBF. The mortality rate after onset is more than 85%. So it's 86%?
ティーフ・ブラウの潜伏期間は2日から7日。
I could survive that. Yeah, because 85%. No, like I like those odds. Because anyway, Tiefblau incubation period is 2 to 7 days.
主な症状は発熱、悪寒、頭痛、筋肉痛、食欲不振などに始まり、この辺は飛ばすわね。
The main symptoms are fever, chills, headaches, muscle pains, poor appetite, and so on. I'll skip this crap. Well, I'll skip this part.
治療法。あった。
Which was the part she skipped was coughing up blood, right? The cure.
現在 EBF 内で治療方法を研究中。
They're currently researching treatment methods within IBF.
特定の界面生物の持つバクテリアを抽出して作られたオレンジアンプルに症状を緩和する効果があることを確認。
It is confirmed that it's effective there's a bacteria, right, that is confirmed to be effective at relieving symptoms in an orange ampule made by extracting the bacteria possessed by certain sponge creatures. You mean they live in the sponge? The sponge is like a mammal or something funny. It's been confirmed that an orange ampule made from bacteria extracted from a certain type of sponge has the effect of alleviating symptoms.
高圧酸素治療装置を使い、白血球の殺菌作用を増大させ、症状をある程度緩和することを確認。
The high-pressure oxygen treatment device to increase the sterilizing effect of the white blood cells and relieve symptoms to a certain extent. It has been confirmed that the use of a hyperbaric oxygen therapy device increases the bactericidal activity of white blood cells. Why do we care about bactericidal? It's a virus.
現在、完全な治療法は確立されておらず。
A complete cure has not been established at present. Well, you got a 15% chance. The cure hasn't been established. It's probably higher for a woman than a man, because for some reason infectious disease infects men worse. The cure hasn't been established. At least symptomatically. I think it does just in chances of killing you as well. The cure hasn't been established.
完全に治す方法は見つからなかったけど、オレンジアンプル、高圧酸素治療装置を試してみましょう。
They couldn't find a way to cure it completely, but let's try the orange ampule and the high pressure oxygen chamber. That's right. We split up and looked for the orange ampules. They're going to skip the whole part where they can't find them, just skip to PP finding them. Then PP checked... When PP checked a shelf, he howled that he found it. When I checked the shelf where PP was howling, I found it. Yeah, and originally like a whole big deal of them not being able to find it, and then like finally Coco finds it. I mean, PP finds it. Anyway, we skipped all that. Just went right to PP finding it. This is it. It's a transparent capsule filled with orange liquid. There were 5 of them. Yeah, they made it so there's 5 in the remake, I think. So they can so that Tsugumi can disguise things. I quickly handed the ampule to you. How do you use it?
わかるわ。先を折って開封して、そのまま中身を注射するのよ。
I understand. You told fold the tip, open it, and then inject the contents. Of course, you as like a bull in a china shop, she'll do it like an EpiPen, just be like, Chah! You immediately put the ampule into the syringe, stood up quietly. Stood up. You quickly put the ampule into the syringe, gently placed it on Coco's arm, and injected the ampule. A few minutes later, slowly but surely, her breathing became calmer, and she calmed down without trembling.
体調はある程度持ち直したようね。
It looks like she's recovered to a certain extent. Thank goodness. I breathed a sigh of relief. Yu's eyes are tearing up a little. The boy bit his lip, hung his head, and took a breath. Tsugumi stared quietly at Coco. PP, you did great. Coco looks like she'll be fine. Well, spoiler, she actually will just die if you don't freeze her. For some reason, freezing her helps. Anyway, I praise PP for finding the ampule. However, PP was sadly snoring at one of the 3 alloy capsules. PP, are you saying this is the high-pressure oxygen treatment device? I peered into the capsule. Wow. There was a person inside the capsule. Well, here we go. Here and there, well, that's weird, was a man in his 40s wearing a white coat stained with blood. The man was in his early 40s wearing a white coat stained with blood in places. Okay. He looked like he's asleep right now. There is a YT badge on his chest. Hey, there's a person!
どうやら先客がいたようね。白衣を着ているってことは、ここの研究員かしら。
Tsugumi says, looks like there was someone here first. If he's wearing a lab coat, I wonder if he's a researcher here.
この人が入っているのが、高圧酸素治療装置のようね。クラナリー手伝って。ここをこの中に入れるから。
Looks like the person's inside a high-pressure oxygen treatment device. Kurinari, help me out. I'll put Coco inside. I presume a different one. You press the pull button next to the capsule and the hatch opened. I presume it's the open button. I gently carry Coco inside. The lid just kind of fades, is less opaque, and then becomes more opaque. I press the button again, and the capsule pod quietly closed. Do you know how to operate it?
マニュアルを見つけたわ。血まみれの。多分彼をここに入れた人が見ていたようね。
I found the manual. It's covered in blood. I think the person who put him in here saw it. What? Huh. That's all she's saying. Tsugumi was operating a terminal a short distance away with the manual in one hand. It's like notable that she's carrying the manual because if it's covered in blood, we don't know how well this virus can survive on surfaces. So it might be able to there might be virus on it. But then it's like, does Tsugumi wash her hands afterwards? I don't know. Tsugumi operated the terminal a short distance away with the manual in one hand.
高圧酸素治療セット。
High pressure oxygen treatment. Setto. A change appeared on the monitor attached to the cylindrical pillar, and it turned out that the pod had started functioning smoothly.
これで大丈夫なはずよ。
This should be okay. Okay. Not written in katakana that time. It's written in abbreviated Romanji. The control panel shows what's going on in the pod. Blood pressure, pulse, breathing. I can even tell what her face looks like from the way she's looking at me. We stare at it for a few minutes. I would think it would be just simply an oxygen pod, not so much a hyperbaric pod in this situation, because they're already at 12.5 atmospheres. You're already hyperbaric at this point. This is still okay, still staring at it. Coco and the researcher, whose name I don't know. Conveniently, inconveniently is just his first letter of each of his initials in Romanji. Slowly but surely, both of them are regaining their normal state.
よかった。
Thank goodness.
ええ。よかったわ。本当に。
Oh, I'm glad, really. Somehow I managed to answer the question. What? I managed to answer the question. Oh, we managed to answer the question, which is, there is no cure. Everyone sighs in relief. Not because we know Coco's going to live, but knows we did everything we could, so we're not guilty of anything. Okay. Now that we can avoid the worst case scenario for the time being... No, the worst case scenario is that you all die of Deep Blue, which is about to happen. Saw... Except Tsugumi, no one knows what happens to her. And all that's left is to do what we can. Which is... Doesn't look like Coco will be able to move right away. Let's forget about the submersible for now. IBF might be in a different situation from Lemu in the sea. There might be other survivors. We might find an escape route. Besides, there might be a clue to help Sora. It's probably best to get as much information as I can about Tiflau. A biohazard happened in this facility. We even want to go expose ourselves to that biohazard as much as possible. We don't have much time left, but as long as time permits, we should explore to survive. Everyone agreed, and Tsugumi and I decided to investigate IBF. You, who seemed to have the most medical knowledge among the members, stayed in the examination room with Pee-Pee, the boy, and accompanying Coco and the researcher. Seemed to, that is. That's like saying that Bones seemed to have more medical knowledge than Spock, but whatever you say. Is exactly what's going on. There's no navigation by Sora, and it's an unknown place, so we freeze up. Come on, it's just hallways. Hug a wall. I walk through IBF. Oh, so you don't freeze up. That said, there were a few places to go. Most of the corridors were closed by shutters, right? Or doors. Most of the corridors have been blocked by... I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. The first kanji is wrong. Yeah, this is not ancient Egypt. Cave-ins because of stone theft. It's closed off by bandits. There were doors that wouldn't open no matter what. I forced the door to a certain room open. A strange stench was overflowing, so I hurriedly closed the door. In that room, which I caught a glimpse of through a small gap, it's where everyone decided to go die together. There's the second infirmary. Several researchers had all died, covered in blood, with their throats clawed out. The escape pods here are also all out. But there are escape pods. Maybe it's because I saw such a gruesome scene, but I wasn't that disappointed. Interesting. It was just empty. I finally couldn't find the other humans living in IBF. No other living humans have ever been could we find in IBF. We went back to examination room together. You, what's the situation?
今のところは大丈夫だよ。
The situation is okay. I'm fine for now. Or it's fine for now. Yu is sitting in a chair, looking a little tired, and headed for the pod's control panel. I misread the biosignal monitor the pod was sending me. Misread? Oh, I tried to check the vital signs being sent from the pod. Or she did. Blood pressure, pulse, breathing, they all seem to be stable.
そうだ、クラナリ。やっぱりカプセルポットの中の研究員もここと同じティーフ・ブラウンに感染していたわ。
That's right, Kuranori. I thought the researcher inside the capsule pod was infected with Teeth Blau, just like Coco. I see.
あとティーフ・ブラウンについて医療関連のデータベースも確認したんだけど。
Also, I checked the medical database regarding Teeth Blau. The thing that they don't ever explain is how is the researcher in the pod YT specifically and not any of the other researchers? And weren't there researchers in the other two pods? Like, why did they just not get in a pod? I also checked the medical database regarding Teeth Blau, but you opened her mouth hesitantly. Did you learn anything?
やっぱりティーフ・ブラウンの治療法、決定的なものはまだ発見されていないみたい。
And it seems that the cure for Teeth Blau hasn't been discovered yet.
今行っている対処療法しかないみたい。
Looks like the only treatment we're doing right now is treating it. It seems the only treatment we're currently offering is symptomatic treatment. Which means the vaccine is...
残念ながらないみたいね。開発はしていたみたいだけど、あまりいい結果は出ていないみたい。
Unfortunately, it doesn't. It seems they were developing it, but it doesn't seem to have produced any good results. In the back of my mind, I recall the tragic scene from earlier. Yeah, maybe it makes it worse. Some of them tried it and they died sooner. You reap what you sow. That said, if we had a vaccine, they had a vaccine, we would have never witnessed such a horrible scene. Actually, you would, because that's how vaccines work, but I beat that horse to death already.
あとは確率の低い自然治癒を待つしか方法はないらしいの。
You have to inject it before you get the disease, like 2 weeks before at least. Well, the rabies one, I guess because the incubation period of rabies, you can get it right away, and then it helps. But all that's left is to wait for a natural recovery with a low probability, it seems. I see. Pain.
それってどういうこと？
What does that mean? Tsugumi sprite just appears on the right. You hesitated, and Tsugumi answered in her place.
そうね。つまり
In other words,
ココが治るにはココ自身の免疫機能が頑張るしかないってこと。
In order for Coco to recover, Coco's own immune system has to work hard.
あとは祈るしかない。
All we can do is pray.
そんな、
That's...
ココは治らないの？
Coco won't heal? The boy looked like he's about to cry. We didn't say it couldn't be cured. However, as for whether it will heal, we have no choice to bet on Coco's own survival. The boy walked over to the capsule pod where Coco was sleeping.
ココ。ココ。
Clinging to the pod and hugging it, the boy was sobbing.
あのポットがココをどれだけ助けてくれるかも未知数なの。
We don't even know how much that pod will help Coco. You muttered as she gazed at the bio read on the monitor.
高圧酸素治療の他にもレーザーでの殺菌やら簡単な手術のできる機能も備わってるらしいし。
In addition to high-pressure oxygen treatment, it also seems to be equipped with laser sterilization and other functions that can perform simple surgery.
使い方によってはハイバネーションすら可能のようだけど。
Depending on how you use it, it looks like it's even possible to use hibernation, as they call it, as opposed to cryogenic... I don't know, they call it hibernation.
ハイバネーション？
It's gonna be with hibernation? That's interesting. That seems plot relevant. What's that, you?
コールドスリープ。冬眠のことよ。
Okay, cold sleep. Cold sleep. And then it says hibernation in Japanese. Oh, it's called cryogenic suspension, according to the Remake translation, which suggests that it was cryogenic suspension written out in katakana. You replied as if it were perfectly natural. Hibernation. What am I going to need to use that for later? Wait, is that the thing that bears and frogs do? Well, I don't know about frogs.
そう。
I see.
ハイバネーション機能があるってことは、つまり人工冬眠ができるってことだと思うわ。
I think the fact that it has the 8 ignition functions means that it can artificially hibernate. If it has the ability to hibernate, then I think it means it can undergo artificial hibernation.
冬眠のスイッチを入れる人工タンパク質を注入して、
Inject artificial protein to turn on the hibernation. A switch on hibernation injects artificial proteins.
人間の体を6度から7度ぐらいの低体温状態に保って、心拍数と呼吸数をギリギリまで減らす。
So it doesn't freeze you. It keeps the human body in a hypothermia for 6 to 7 degrees Celsius, reducing the heart rate and breathing rate to just barely.
そうすることによって代謝効率を下げてエネルギーを極力消費しないようにするんだって。
By the third, if anybody ever develops something that actually claims to do this in real life, which they won't because this is impossible, I would never ever try it because I'd be worried that it would permanently reduce my ability to make new memories. Like, never would I try something like this. By doing that, we can reduce metabolic efficiency, or increase metabolic efficiency, and avoid expending as much energy as possible.
まあもうすぐ沈んでしまうここでは無用の長物ってやつだけど。
Well, it's gonna sink soon, so it's useless here, but... Like, you mean it's gonna collapse soon? Well, IBF won't, but you doesn't know that. You slowly looked up it from the manual.
とにかく今は信じて待つしかないわ。
Okay, so you is touching the bloody manual. Anyway, all we can do right now is wait and believe in it. Or believe in her. P. Okay, so the researcher's gonna wake up. A sharp electronic sound comes back from the control panel monitor. Wondering what is going on, everyone turned their attention to the screen. The boy was running that way. The boy also comes running towards me. The researcher goes, "Gah." The anguished researcher's face is reflected. In the cramped capsule, he's wriggling his body like he's struggling. Osan, which I guess is like old man. He coughed violently, tearing his throat out. His hands and his mouth was stained red. The color of blood rapidly drains from his skin as it comes out his mouth. His breathing is ragged and he lets out a low groan.
そんな、いきなり容体が変わるなんて。
I can't believe that his condition suddenly changed. Osan, don't scratch your throat any more than that. You'll break it. Some voice acting. You just have to imagine having to voice act that. Well, I saturated my mic by accident. He slowly removes the hand that was tormenting his neck. Are you alright? Whether my voice reaches him or he regained consciousness, Osan looked at my face. The man opens his eyes wide in surprise.
いや、君は救助隊じゃなさそうだな。
Oh, that voice acting, it's like they like drank a whole bunch of milk, right? So everything would just be all like flimmy in the air, just be really like yeah,
我々のせいで。
I didn't bother to translate that line. Oops. I'm sorry. It is our fault. Okay, P. What did he say? Sorry, I have to grab it. You don't look like a rescue team. Okay. And sorry, it is our fault.
ここまでだな。
Like they gasped me like that. This is it. But it's like so good. Like I can't replicate it. The researcher was barely holding his breath.
これも報いか。
This is payback. He takes a deep breath. But he can't keep breathing. You frantically flip through the manual, searching through the control panel. But there's nothing I can do. We can't find a way to get to him. Wrong kanji. Okay. Might be saving, potentially. You punched the manual. And you figure out why you care so much if we get one of the endings, which you may not. Yeah, she actually interacted with the researcher while we were searching IBF. It's like the secret thing. When she rested her elbows on the panel and covered her face with both hands. She was sobbing. Tsugumi and the boy were looking at the monitor with tense expressions. Tsugumi may be putting two and two together. Like she didn't do in the original game. Where she thought that the researcher was Coco's dad. It wasn't a bad guess, it was just wrong. The researcher's vital signs are weakening. By the way, that was in Tsugumi route in the original, so you wouldn't have seen it.
娘を救えただろうか。
He did. That same kanji is wrong. But it's take care of my daughter. Okay, I can type this in here. Go Twitch to Kana. Musume means daughter. Take care of my daughter or daughters. It could be Is there a singular, is there like a guaranteed plural in this line? Potentially. I don't know how to do a guaranteed plural in Japanese. So I don't know if it's like forced to be plural or whether or not it's actually singular. It is plural, but they might have done like a double on. Like the text may not enforce it. Which might mean it should be like a twist, right? His gaze seemed to be fixed on the wandering you. He seemed to have his gaze was fixed on you, who was wandering around. And then he looked like he was smiling.
私は最後に
I am in my final moments.
救われたかもしれない。
So the first kanji is wrong. What's the second part? Is maybe. But don't see tabun. Well, tabun's probably. I can't get the first word. So I guess it's maybe, and there's some sort of something. The first one has something to do with taking care of someone. Maybe. But if you already talked to the researcher that you don't look like a rescue team would be out of place, wouldn't it? That is an out of place line. And then annoying sinusoid. The capsule pod's bio-read is empty and emits a long, inorganic electronic sound. I apologize for this in my video. We couldn't save him. Or take care of him or whatever. We couldn't do anything about him, even though we didn't know his name. Oh, someone knows his name. Okay, everyone get symptoms time. I see some blood being coughed up. I reach for the panel and stop the electronic beeping. Coco heading to the same fate? How's Coco doing?
正常よ。
Normal. You spoke faintly, her voice trembling with tears.
今のところここには問題ないわ。
So far, there is no problem with Coco. I see, okay. The old man. No, this person will have to properly or politely, whatever, bury him later. And everybody else. For a while, no one was able to move from there. I've seen how serious the situation is. But time is definitely passing. Time wouldn't allow us to continue to stagnate. The time may be quiet. It's just past 4:30 p.m. on May 6th. Yes. Got a quick save there for some reason. Maybe we hit some sort of branch point. We took the dead researcher out of the capsule, laid him down on the bed, and all of us prayed in silence. I know there's supposed to be 4 elevators. But there's 5 shafts. I guess 4 of the 5 shafts are elevators. But the design of each of the shaft is like that of an elevator. Oh well. After that, we all discussed it, and for Coco's sake, it was unanimously decided that we would stay in IBF until the very last moment and continue treating Coco. We gotta get back to the surface by, I would probably do 5 a.m. because you want 2 hours before the collapse time. Actually, I want to leave 2 hours before collapse time, so I would get up there at 4 a.m. Cause of Monsieur Val should have already finished charging. All that's left is to wait for the right moment. After that, the Tiefblau infection between me and the boy was confirmed. However, after that, it was confirmed that I and the boy were infected with Tiefblau. So you went on the table, got examined. Okay. Why is this done in this passing-like thing? That's weird, because in the original game, no matter what ending you were doing, you were talking to someone in the hallway, and then suddenly Takeshi comes down with symptoms. And then they test him because he comes down with symptoms in the hallway. You know what I mean? Now, in the bad ending and the Sora ending, he's talking with you. And the Tsugumi ending, he's talking to Tsugumi. I forget what's done in the golden ending. I think in the golden ending it's actually you, which is interesting. Even though the golden ending is in most ways is more similar to Tsugumi's than Sora's ending, you actually talking to you in the hallway, I believe. Okay. It's like this is some sort of like weird bad ending narration type. I put the boy with the serious symptoms into the capsule pod. The time limit for the collapse was approaching, but I bet there... The time limit for the collapse was fast approaching, but we were gambling on the possibility of some extra time. I won't be able to take a simple step out of IBF until I can get the boy out of the capsule pod. During that time, we tried to connect to the phone line or the cable. We tried to connect to a line to contact the outside world. But radio and satellite communications from here are out of service. Every once in a while, a one-sided transmission would come in from the outside, as if mixed in. Okay, but... the line should be alive, but the computer's communication software isn't working. Well, why would our decisions affect whether or not the Coast Guard would be able to get their signal through? That's so silly. Are you saying that in order to hide IBF's existence and records in the outside world, the Reek Nagita, the third Reek, the researchers deliberately isolated us? Could that be that Leiblich deliberately isolated us in order to hide the existence of the records of IBF from the outside? Reality is like a nightmare. This was just a long nightmare. As I thought that, I slowly woke up. It looks like I was sleeping in a chair. My back hurts. I looked around the infirmary and saw Tsugumi and you sitting in their chairs. I was awake too, but they were awake too, but looked vacant, as if they'd run out of options.
3 Minuten vor der Implosion.
I hear an inorganic announcement from the room's speakers. Did it say implosion? I thought they changed the plot so it was a collapse instead of an implosion. But not all the way. They didn't check everything. Debug team! Dull metallic sound echoes immediately from somewhere.
3 Minuten vor der Implosion.
And like, why would the countdown be heard in IBF? I could feel the floor and walls creaking and vibrating.
どうやら始まったようね。
Looks like it has started. Maybe IBF is going to implode in this. But it can't, because they do a plot even remotely similar to the original game. They have to have IBF continue to exist. Tsugumi looked up at the ceiling and pecked at it. Ceiling and pecked at it. I guess spoke. Spoke in a speedy manner, I guess. It started.
終わりの始まりね。
Fast text. The beginning of the end. The beginning of the end? I look up at the ceiling too. As if to confirm the end beyond that. A heavy sound echoes through the distant water as it comes to an end. The end comes, a heavy sound echoing far away through the water.
結局
So you mean they just kind of sat here? They didn't grab the kid and Coco and just leave in the whale? They just sat? Wrong kanji and I can't even fix it, but it's an important line. Okay. The first kanji is conclusion. I don't know what the second one is, but something to do with something ending.
私の場所はここだったみたい。
Looks like this is where I belong. Which is going to exist in IBF forever, just eating the corpses of the men who died in IBF. She said that with a quiet voice, devoid of any emotion.
つぐみ、何言ってるの？
Maybe she's thinking about using hibernation. Alternative thought where they say, get Tsugumi out of hibernation. Tsugumi, what are you saying?
場所って何？
What do you mean by place?
ずっと探していて、やっとたどり着いたのよ。
I've been searching all this time, and I have finally arrived.
ここが私の
I didn't understand that what I was looking for was death. This is my
死に場所。
place to die. You figure, and you're starting to learn the horrible truth that you're not actually going to die. Uh-oh. Tsugumi staggered to her feet. She is dragging her right leg. Tsugumi, what's with that leg?
ああ、これ？
She says, this? Oh, they're gonna clarify. They have clarification. In the original, she just walks out dragging her left leg, and that's just her right leg, and then that's just how it is. They don't explain it. Tsugumi looked at her legs as if she hadn't noticed until I told her.
なんともないはずだったのにね。
It was supposed to be nothing.
何があっても自分は死ねないと思ってたんだけど。
I thought that no matter what happened, I wouldn't be able to die.
それもまた間違いだったのかもしれない。
Maybe I misunderstood that too.
2 Minuten.
Well, what were you gonna say in German? Tsugumi dragged her feet toward the door. Tsugumi? Hold on. Okay, so they didn't actually clarify. This added more language. I tried to chase after her and fell over uncouthly. I put my hand on the floor and tried to stand up, but fell over again. It's like I can't fit a mosquito in my knee. Well, I have a hard time fitting mosquitoes in my knees as well. Oh, I can't get any strength in my knees. I'm still face down on the floor. My whole body is numb and I can't move. What happened to my body? Oh, Tsugumi's still there. Cover the background in blood. I suddenly coughed and covered my mouth with my hand. I quietly pushed my hand away. The palm of my hand was covered in sticky stuff, dyed bright red. Tsugumi, where are you going? My vision starts to get hazy. I can't really grasp the feeling of secession. I can't get a good sense of touch. There you go.
さあ、
Sa. It's something like I see. Tsugumi lifted her head.
仲間ごっこってのもそんなに悪いもんじゃなかったけど。
Playing friends wasn't all that bad. Or comrades or whatever. Opening the door, she turned to leave the examination room.
もうお互い会うこともないでしょ。
So it's very similar to the bad ending of the original, just more words. There's just more lines. It's made it more verbose. We'll never see each other again. Yes, because he's going to die. Her figure seemed to flicker.
じゃあね。
Just like, bye. Which is weird, because it's like, you would think this would be an appropriate time to say sayonara. But she just says, Jane. The door closed and Tsugumi went off somewhere. A moment later, well, that wouldn't have been enough time for Tsugumi to get to the elevator, so she didn't collapse on. She didn't manage to get it collapsed on her. It doesn't appear. On the other side of the passageway, across the wall, I heard the sound of a terrible, muddy stream. A terrible rushing sound could be heard on the other side of the walled passage. Yeah, but IVF doesn't get flooded, though. That's like the dumb thing about that. It's like fake. It's like the game like lies to you. It like intentionally writes a wrong line there. The door was pushed by the water, making violent cracks and creaks and distortions, but it was still holding back the flow. But that's a lie. It's a lie. Tsugumi! Tsugumi!
Eine Minute vor der Implosion.
9 minutes until implosion. The pod's control panel made a high-pitched electronic sound. I awkwardly move my head and look at the control panel.
Eine Minute vor der Implosion.
Haitarumoni. Huh? The Baptistal. The biomonitor, you mean, was just drawing a straight line. The kid died, right? Nothing was moving that signaled a biological reaction.
少年
Yep, the kid. The kid. The kid. Electronic sounds won't stop. The cold, flat tone continues forever. There are no ups and downs. The heart rate and breathing rhythm are no longer indicated.
嘘
And it just stops just for the reader's convenience. Lies.
こんなの嘘だよ
This is a lie.
誰か嘘だって言って
Someone say it is a lie.
黒なり
Kurenari.
嘘だって言ってよ
Tell me it's a lie. Okay, so Coco's still alive apparently at this point. Crawling on the floor, you cried out. The ominous growling came from overhead is gradually getting stronger and stronger. The whole floor seems to be shaking. I put all my strength into forcing my body, which wouldn't listen to me, to stand next to you.
黒なりどこにいるの
Well, we got the CG. Kurenari, where are you? I am here.
どこにいるの？
Where are you?
出して。
Hold out your hand. The floor is already red and wet with blood. I barely reach my arm on top of the slippery surface. You gently catches my right hand and wraps it around hers. Or wraps hers around it, one or the other. Her hand is small and cold now. Kuranari? You crawled over to me and pulled my hand closer to hers. Or closer to her, one or the other. Because you can't really pull a hand closer to yours, it's already being pulled. Then she hugged my arm and pressed it against her chest. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. My hand covers Yu's chest.
嫌だよ。
I don't want to.
寒いよ。
It's cold.
私、 死にたくない。
I don't want to die. Yu's body trembles. I can feel the blood rapidly draining from the tip of her hand. You mean her fingertips? Yeah, I can feel the blood rapidly draining from her fingers.
クラナリ、
Kuranari, but this time written out in hiragana.
心臓が、
My heart.
私の心臓が破裂しそうだよ。
My heart feels like it's going to burst. Her skin and clothes were cold. Only her chest, where my hands were touching, had a faint maturity, a faint hint of ripeness. Okay, got it. Ripe makes more sense in this context. I could feel Yu's heart beating so fast it felt like it was going to burst at my fingertips.
怖い。
Kawaii, which I guess is like scared, right?
助けて。
Help me.
助けて、クラナリ。
Help me, Kuranari. Her voice was getting dry, one after another. Her breasts seemed to be getting ragged. I can't move anymore either. Trying to exhale, she tried to exhale, tried to speak, but red liquid was spilling out of her lips. I extend my fingers slightly towards you, and she crawls. I stretch out my fingers slightly, letting them crawl as if to confirm the existence of life. Okay, so they're like wiggling. Her entire body convulsed. Well, that's a complicated kanji there. She arches her body as if jumping. Before long, that trembling also weakens. She's getting colder and colder. Only my heart is beating furiously. Only her heart is beating furiously. That sound sounded distant, like a ringing in my ears.
かなり知ってる。
Okay, hey, Kurinari, do you know? Nanoda? Which is, what are you?
月の光を浴びればね。滅びたはずのヴァンパイアが復活するっていう伝承があるのよ。
There is a legend that if you bathe in the moonlight, the vampire who should have been destroyed would revive. There's a legend that says if you expose yourself to moonlight, vampires who are supposed to be extinct will be resurrected. And it is actually vampire. This says vampire. This is moon. So this is, I believe, moonlight. Interesting. So it's basically foreshadowing the Tsugumi ending. What are you saying?
思いついたことってすぐに誰かに話したくなるじゃない。
Oh, the dots are making it hard. He's gonna sitting. Yeah, the translator's trying to process that. It's not processing it. Let's cut out the front part because that's messing things up. Okay, and that ko at the end because that's a bracket. When you think of something you want to tell someone right away. Oh.
あとクラナリは知ってた。
Also, you know, Kurinari.
クラナリは私のことなんかなんとも思ってなかっただろうけどさ。
Kurinari probably didn't think anything of me, but in a withered voice. A crude tear fell. Oh, wrong kanji here. Yes. But I have like a leaf, right? Sora. Oh. Sora's. Oh, I got a wrong kanji at the front, too. Huh. Okay. Well, tears. A crude tear fell with those words. Or some sort of tear fell. However, the adjective might be is unknown here.
本当はね、私クラナリのこと好きだったんだよ。
Huh. So, it looks like there's a slight redraw. I don't think the original had this variation. So Hontoni, which is like really, like what I'm saying is actually true. Watashi, which is I. Kurinari no Koto ski saki datan. So, saki is what you use to say you like something. But when you say koto, how does that change that? The truth is, yep, you know, I like Kurinari so much. The truth is, I liked Kurinari. You really wouldn't think very much of that, because like, okay, well, you say, I like this person. Well, in Memories Off, they use the phrase, anata ga suki desu, to basically say something like, I love you, which... So, maybe you could interpret it like that. Of course, there's also that word, aishite mas, so I don't know. Aishiteru. Yeah, Shiki. This really got messed up. Yoshi, I really had a hard time with this one. Okay. S. And then this is like a little s. So, I'll just type this in. It's not in kana, right? Okay. S. S. Sekirishita. It was refreshing. Approximately. Or I liked it. Or something like that. After that, I can't hear a thing anymore. You? Well, you could go chest compressions, but why bother at this point? You're kidding. You? Hey, answer me. You're kidding, aren't you? Always trying to respond to what you said. The warmth in my hand is fading away. Yeah, she only said that because she was about to die, so she wouldn't face the consequences of that. It's like, I could say I love you right before I die, and like I don't have to deal with it because I'm about to die. I can't feel my heart beating. What? It seemed as if the heartbeat would never again be felt. Because it won't. That's how heartbeats work. You! That's how dying works. I was yelling. Tsugumi! Which apparently she gets swept away in this somehow. No guarantee that would kill her. I mean, it also doesn't make any sense regarding any of the other stuff. Sora! Coco! We still don't know if Coco dies or not. That's the weird thing. Like, she could still be alive at this point. The kid! He apparently died for sure. Yes, you are probably the last one left, aside from perhaps Coco. She might be still alive. And, well, Tsugumi in this weird non-canon bad ending, because it can't be canon, because it's wrong. Like, she could, like, non-canonically die or something. I don't know. The names of everyone who couldn't be saved. Damn it. Instantly, my last cry was swallowed up by the torrent. The seawater rushes in large quantities as one. It swallowed everything. Everything. Okay, notice. Okay, I gotta try and translate this. I can see bado indo. So I know it says bad end. So I see, so I think it starts with, before it translates, the first, I can get my cursor in here. This is Takeshi Kurinari. No, Kurinari Takeshi. Bad ending, though. This is Tanaka. This right here. This is you. No. And then there's some more stuff. I observed the conclusion of Yu Tanaka, the warrior's point of view. Bad. It's funny. Takeshi's perspective, bad end. Tanaka Yu's ending observation. Is what Google Translate says. Or observing Yu Tanaka Yu's ending. And if I take out Tanaka's name, Yu's name, observing the outcome. Okay. I don't know if it really matters that we're observing Yu's outcome, because what outcome would we observe? Coco's, the kids? It's like there's different variations on the bad ending. I don't think there would be. I think it's just saying that I just decided to add to the name of the bad ending and say that this is kind of, it's a bad ending, but it's kind of the you ending. We're going to name it after you, sort of. Which the original doesn't, but I like how they do that, because I always thought of it that way. The bad ending was kind of the you ending. Of course, it's like, you does a love confession right when it wouldn't matter if she did a love confession, because everybody's about to die anyway. And it makes no sense, because it's like, how do your decisions that give you the bad ending are decisions that cause IBF to be destroyed? When IBF is not destroyed in the other endings. Well, at least in the golden ending, it's not. It's like, what? How does that happen? Like, that's not affected by what you're doing. It's probably what I like to save the system data. But let me try to grab it. Overriding system data, is that okay? If you end the game without doing this, the data will be lost. Okay. Yes, I want to save my system data. Okay, so let's go to extra, go to the CG gallery. And the bad ending specific stuff that was, we know that started happening right at that quick save, where it started just narrating and glossing over with the picture of IBF in the background. Like, if you pick another ending, something different would happen right from there, right? So these are the new CGs we get from doing the bad ending. And that's all, I think. So if I were to take a guess, these missing ones, these ones have something to do with swimming for Chami, which I guess you would get to do if you were allowed to Tsugumi differentiate. But there's two. And there's only one family of CGs in the swimming for Chami scene in the original, so it might be a second one that's added, that's drawn, right? Because they added a bunch of Sora CGs like these ones, right? And then I don't know why I don't get how there'd be two here, but one of the, I'm going to guess that these are added Tsugumi CGs in the same way. that, let me go to, these are added Sora, no, these are added Sora CGs. And then here is where you'd find the Tsugumi ending CG stuff. Past the end. That's what my guess is. And then the rest is kid stuff. Okay. So that was only about 2 hours. So I'm going to, well, I gotta look at the clear list. See where the bad ending showed up. Oh, it shows up down there. Huh, okay. And it's called the Takeshi's Perspective Bad Ending. So we have Sora Route, or Sora Route, good ending, and Takeshi's Perspective Bad Ending. Interesting that the list is so out of order. Okay. So then, gonna back up. Whoops, not the music. Boom, 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 bottom, boom, bottom, bottom, boom. Yes, the Ever17 music. We're going to do continue. We're going to do a load. So, which one did I write down? Seven? Okay, let's try to load save number 7.
ここだとなんですから、場所を変えませんか?
And we're going to do go. The reason why is I want to go back and try to translate the conversation that ensues again. Just because I did a poor job at it last time. Of course, I might do a poor job at it this time. It's very difficult to translate. Right, so where are we going?
闇鬼。
The Yamioni, which is the fish, the place where you played kick the can. Yeah.
闇鬼をやった場所。魚の牧場なんてどうですか?
Why don't we go to the place where we played the Yamioni, the fish ranch? Understood, then let's go. You said that Tsugumi wouldn't wake up for a while, so I guess I'll pay her a visit later. I followed Sora to the fish farm. Wrong kanji here. But I went to the fish farm, right? I made my way. I traveled to the fish farm. Colorful fish swim through the silence.
静かですね。
Quiet, isn't it? Sora murmured softly.
平常のにぎわいがまるで全部嘘だったように思います。
The usual hustle and bustle seems like it was all a lie. Seems like all the usual hustle and bustle was a lie.
あ、申し訳ありません。不謹慎でしたね。
I'm sorry. That was imprudent. Well, I can imagine how lively it usually is, so I get what you're trying to say. Come to think of it, how long has Sora been working here?
私が実用レベルで稼働したのは2011年の4月です。
I was operating at a practical level in May, right? No, April. Yeah, April. Okay, April of 2011.
それ以来ということになりますね。
Since then, that is. It's 2017, so 6 years, huh?
ええ、そうですね。
Yeah, that is right.
2223日。
2,223 days. Okay. What is Open Spider? Hold on. Okay, we're going to do 2,223 divided by 17. I mean, it's possible, right? Because 7 times 7 is 63 to have an ending of trailing of 3 on a integer multiple of 17. 2. Oh, sorry about that. Spider wants me to update it, and I never do. Nope, it is not an integer multiple of 17. So why'd they even bother? They could have made it 2,227 days. Sora narrows her eyes as if looking into the distance. Those eyes seem to be staring not at the present, but at the past. Nostalgia, the longing to reminisce about the past. Sora felt the same way. For a while, Sora and I gazed quietly at the pickled fish. The pickled fish. Which kanji is wrong? I presume it's the fish are swimming, right? Not that's all. I see. So let's try it. What is swimming? I gotta turn back to Romanji. Nope. The wiggling. Nope. I don't know. So this here is wrong, but it's something to do with, it's describing the fish. So whatever the fish are doing.
倉成さん、鬼ごっこしませんか？
Kurinari-san, why don't we play tag? Sora suddenly opens her coochie mouth.
昨日の闇鬼、とっても面白かったんです。
Yesterday's Yamioni was really interesting.
だから、私と鬼ごっこしませんか？
So, why don't you play tag with me? Tag has a kanji, apparently. Play tag? Didn't you come here because you wanted to talk to me? The question pops into my head.
さあ、倉成さん、私を。
So then, Kurinari-san, I, as the object,
捕まえてみてください。
try to catch me. Sora floated off the ground and began to slide. Sora, wait. Suddenly, Sora disappears from my field of vision. I lose sight of her and my eyes wander through the empty space.
ほら、こっちですよ。
Come this way. Where are you? Relying on the voice, I followed Sora with my ears.
ここですってば。
I'm right here. I head to where Sora appeared. At that moment, Sora disappeared. Ah?
こっちです。
This way. Heard another voice from somewhere else. I turned around in the direction of the voice. But I couldn't see Sora there.
どこを見ているんですか？
Where are you looking? I turned around to the source of the voice again. Sora was there, smiling. Is that it? But the moment I try to head in that direction, I lose sight of Sora. Huh? Giggling. Sora, the Sora that appears and disappears this way and that. Sora appears and disappears this way and that in an instant. Rather than playing tag, it's all I can do just to follow her with my eyes. Sora, wait. This is a bit impossible, isn't it? Or... Sora, wait, this is impossible, isn't it? Or something like a little bit. Yeah, okay. Google Translate agrees.
こっちこっち。
Over here, over here.
どうしたんですか？
What's wrong?
私はここですよ。
I'm right here. A smile dances in the void. Twice. But because there's like a grammar thing that makes it so like it's subtly different the second time it's written, but it doesn't come across in English. So it just looks to an English speaker just like a smile dances in the void twice. Geez, what the hell? I know it's Sora, right? Something like, I know it's Sora, right? This is hard to do because, like, the machine translator just translated as the sky. You'd say, I catch you. No matter how hard I try, I can't grab you, you know?
え？そうなんですか？
Yeah, is that so?
そんな。
That's...
そうでしたか。私知りませんでした。
I see. I didn't know. The three Soras pretended to not notice. What the hell? Hey, there's more of them? Hey, what's wrong, Sora?
あら、どうしちゃったんでしょう。
Now no, we did 1, 2, and 3. Now we're doing A, B, and C. What's going on? The three of them tilt their heads.
私、変ですか？
Am I weird?
変わりはありませんか？
Have I changed? Is there any change? Yeah, something like, have I changed? Takeshi says, that's what I want to hear. Okay. That you're weird. What is going on? What are you trying to do? Oh, we got Sora way on the left there. Laughing.
なんだか自分でもよくわからなくなってきました。
I don't really know myself anymore.
とってもふわふわしてて気持ちいいです。
It's so fluffy and it feels so good. One, two, three, four, five. We have all 6 on the screen now. You can add a 7th one by having them sit on the board. With an entranced expression like she was dreaming, she drifted slowly through empty space. I feel suffocated. Whoa. Oh, the whoa's not part of it. Sora, are you okay? Are you feeling sick? Are you tired?
すべてすべて聞こえさすべき方なくなん。
There's no one to hear everything. I guess. Yeah, okay. Well, what is that supposed to mean? Same question. Saying something so classic all of a sudden? Did you get possessed or something?
なんでしょう。
What is it? In an instant, there was only one Sora in front of me.
わかりました。
It's like, I understand.
意地悪するのはこれくらいにしておきます。
I'll leave the bullying at that. The bullying?
ええ。
Eh. Sora said it so casually.
今のはちょっとした前工場です。
That was a bit of a preface. A preface? Or introduction. A preface or an introduction. Which are different, because
そろそろ本題に入りますね。
a preface is not written by the author. An introduction typically is. Let's get down to business. Right? Yeah, let's get to the point now. And then slowly she began to speak.
倉成さんをはじめ、皆さんが見ている私は、皆さんが共有する空間的には、そこにあるように見えています。
Kurenari-san and everyone else sees me as being there in terms of the space you all share. Okay. The me that everyone sees, including Kurenari-san, appears to be present in the space that you all share.
だけど視覚情報としては全て同じではありません。
Okay. But as far as visual information goes, it's not all the same.
視点の距離や角度によって視覚情報は変わってきます。
Your visual information changes depending on the distance and angle of view. Yes.
本来の私は倉成さんにお見せしたように空間に広く行き渡って偏在することもできるのです。
The original me, as Kurenari-san has shown you, can travel widely through space and be ubiquitous. As I showed you, my true self can penetrate space and be omnipresent.
私を見ている人の数だけ視覚情報としての私は存在しています。世界もまたそうなのです。
Or be ubiquitous might also work. Okay. So this might be ubiquitous in katakana, and then it turns into... Check. No, it's not. It's kanji. So omnipresent works. Okay. Like the original. I exist as much as the number of people looking at me, as visual information. The world is the same, huh? And so does the world. Okay. So the world only exists when you're looking at it as well, apparently, is simulation theory. The world? What's the world?
倉成さん、あの時、もしああだったらと想像したことはありませんか？
Kurenari-san, have you ever imagined what would happen if that were the case? If what were the case? There's a lot of them.
その想像の世界はもしかしたら本当にある世界なのかもしれない。
Maybe the imaginary world really is a certain world. What? That imaginary world may actually exist. You mean there might be parallel worlds?
そうとも言えますね。先ほど倉成さんには私が複数に見えたと思いますが、一人一人の私がパラレルワールドの一つ一つだと思ってください。
Wait, what does being able to appear to multiple people at once have to do with parallel worlds? It's a hard transition. You could say that. I think Kurenari-san saw multiple me's earlier, but please think of each and every one of me as a parallel world. Yeah, that's a grand story.
ごめんなさい。飛躍しすぎてしまいましたね。私は偏在できるので、世界が一つしかないということが不思議です。
I'm sorry, that was too much of a leap. It's strange that I could only have an umbrella, so the world has to be connected. What? Sorry, I've jumped too far. I find it strange that the world is so small that I can live alone. Live as one person, right?
ですが、倉成さんたちにとってパラレルワールドはまだ現実感がないことかもしれませんね。
But for you and the others, the parallel worlds may not feel real yet. Yeah, parallel worlds. One where IBF gets destroyed and ones that they don't. Or that doesn't, with no clear reason why. But for you and the others, the parallel worlds may not feel... Oh, you haven't gotten Takeshi yet. That's right. The concept of parallel worlds is definitely chotto. It's like a little...
これはブレーンワールドという高次元時空の概念なんです。世界はこの世界だけではないという意味ですよ。
This is a concept of high-dimensional space-time called the brain world. It means that this world isn't the only world.
この高次元時空の概念を使って
現実世界と電脳世界、二つの世界の橋渡しをするように私は作られました。
No, it just means the world has more than 4 dimensions. That's all that means. Although I'm not really well studied on my brains. So, I was created to use this concept of high-dimensional space-time to bridge the two worlds, the real world and the biocomputer world. But if you're not familiar with what a brain is, it's like some sort of high-dimensional space. It's a term you throw around when you talk about string theory. I don't really know my string theory, so I can't really say any more than that.
私を開発した時のコンセプトは、より人間に近く、人間らしくです。
When I was developed, the concept was closer to interrogation and more deserted. The concept behind my development was to make me more accessible and relaxed.
そのため、私には、ヒューマンエミュレートリミッターという制御プログラムが設定されています。
Because of that, I have a control program called the Human Emulation Limiter set up. But if I were to defeat that, then I could suddenly access parallel worlds. What? Wait a minute. If you wanted to control it, they should have developed it so that you couldn't do it in the first place.
そうですね。でも、時と場合によって、私は人間の能力を超えた力を発揮しなければならないのです。
It's like how conveniently convenient that they didn't do it like that. That's right, but depending on the time and place, I may surpass human abilities. Or must. That's true, but there are times when I need to exert powers that go beyond human ability.
例えば、一瞬にして100メートル向こうの通路に現れるとか、レミに直接アクセスするとか。
For example, appearing in a passage at 100 meters away in an instant, or accessing Limit directly. That's something that's controlled by a program and can't do. What can't you do under the control of the program?
倉成さん、今立っているところから一番遠くに見えるものは何ですか？
Kurinari-san, what's the furthest thing you can see from where you're standing? Okay. Kujira, that whale, that manatee?
私もなんですよ。ヒューマンエミュレートリミッターが備わっているから、人並み外れた視力は持っていないんです。
It's the same. I am the same. I am equipped with a human emulation limiter, so I don't have extraordinary eyesight. If you don't have it, then if you don't have it, you can see it.
可能です。でも残念ながら、そこの制限を解除する権限が今の私にはありません。
It's possible, but unfortunately, I don't have the authority to remove those restrictions. Even though you're free to split up to surprise people?
あれは魚の牧場内のお魚の画像情報を私のデータに差し替えて錯覚させたものなのです。本当は分身したわけではないんですよ。
That was an illusion created by replacing the image information of the fish in the fish ranch with my data. The truth is, it wasn't a clone. It was just reskinning. You tricked me.
騙すつもりはなかったのですが、私は倉成さんに分かって欲しかったのです。
That doesn't explain why her voice was coming from different places, but okay. I didn't mean to deceive you, but I wanted you to understand Kurenari-san, and I also wanted to, like, the British expression, this is kind of profane, but is take the piss out of him. I don't know how to say other than that, actually. I see.
倉成さんのおかげで、現実世界と電脳世界にあった境界線ともいえる幕が破れたからです。
Because I don't know what a catheter has to do with just like messing with someone, but okay. Because thanks to you, Kurenari-san, the boundary between the real world and the biocomputer world has been broken. How? Wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean all of a sudden? I guess for Japanese speakers, this is also hard to understand. Sora smiled mischievously for a moment and opened her mouth.
レムリア碑文の一文に、こんなくだりがあります。
In one sentence of the Lemurian epitaph, there is an incident like this. Huh. Yeah, there's a passage in the Lemurian inscription that goes like this.
見えるもの、見えないもの、広がりを持つ世界、神羅万象。あらゆるすべては、見えない紐でつながっている。
This is the stone, by the way. It's on the Incel Knoll. It's in the Lemurian ruin area. Everything you see, everything you can see, everything you can see, everything you can see, everything you can see, everything's connected by invisible strings. Okay. Let's go translate what I have to say. The visible and the invisible, the vast world, the universe, everything is connected by invisible strings. Okay, I see.
それは幾重にも分かれ、途切れても、すべては見えない紐で紡がれていく。
Yes, but string theory doesn't say the strings connect everything together. It just describes a particle as a string. It's broken up several times, and even if it's cut off, it's all woven and invisible strings. Even if it is split into many layers and breaks, everything is woven together by invisible strings.
倉成さん、もっと聞きたいですか？
Kurenari-san, do you want to hear more? I presume that there's a yes. And I choose yes because I want to, like, read all of this. No. Okay, so yes must be the top choice. The bottom one is no. Yeah, I want to know more.
わかりました。後で制御室の端末からレミにアクセスして、レムリア碑文についての情報を私のデータベースに追記しておきますね。
Understood. I'll access Lemire from the control room terminal later and add information on the Lemurian epitaph to my database. Why do you need to do that? Wouldn't you have already done that? You weren't supposed to tell me just now. Oh, I should have told you that just now, huh?
すみません。期待させてしまいましたか？
Sorry, did I get your hopes up? Oh, I wanted you to tell me that now. Oh, did I get your hopes up? That's not what I meant. I thought you knew everything about... I thought Sora knew everything.
私の場合、好奇心学習型の AI なので、自分が気になった情報をデータベースから学び、できることは実践して勉強していくんです。
So Takeshi said, I thought you would tell me more from the epitaph just now. He's like, no. Oh, did I get your hopes up? And he's like, no, I thought you knew everything already. In my case, I am a curiosity learning type AI. So I'm going to learn the information I'm interested in from the database, and I'm going to put that where I could practice it and study. I see. I imagine Sora was wearing a sailor uniform, wrapping a bowl around herself, and studying hard at her desk. You mean a school uniform? I imagine Sora wearing a sailor uniform, wearing a headband, sitting at her desk studying hard. Okay, that's weird. I wonder what anime it's referencing.
何かおかしかったですか？私。
Was there something wrong with me? Sora was flustered. No, it's just thought it would be fun to study like that, even for Sora.
はあ、面白いですか？
Huh, interesting. Is it not? I don't know how to put it, but you're cute.
かわいいですか？
Kawaii desu ka? I'm cute. Kawaii zo. You are cute.
そんな勉強がかわいい？
No way. Studying is cute?
理解不能です。
Now, it's hard for you to understand what cute is. I don't understand. Sora looked both embarrassed and troubled. Maybe it's a word jang that's not in her database. Maybe it's language that's not in her database.
そうですか？かわいいですか？
Well, is that so? It is cute? Now, what's weird is that kawaii doesn't... Like, you just said studying is cute. Out of context, it wouldn't make sense. That's why she's confused. Is that, like, what makes something cute is super contextual. It's really hard to nail down and describe. So her cheeks flushed with happiness, even though she was somewhat confused. Is that what we call cute after all?
レムリア碑文の一文を引用したのはですね。
The one who quoted that sentence from the Lemurian epitaph was...
見えるもの、見えないもの、見えない紐でつながっているっていうところが気に入ったからです。
That's what I like about it? Okay, she just says I like that idea. So, what you can see, what you can't see, it's all connected by invisible strings. I like that. Something like that.
クラナリさんが見つけてくれたから、こちらの世界にいないあやふやな存在だった私を仲間だと認識してくれたから。
Because Kurenari-san found me, because he recognized me as his comrade, even though I was a vague existence that couldn't reach this world.
それで私も皆さんとつながっているんだなと感じられました。
So that is why I'm connected to all of you. That's what I felt.
こちらの世界、クラナリさんのいる世界にも同一の私がいるんだなって感じられました。
I could feel that in this world, in Kurenari-san's world, there was the same me.
それでちょっとだけ境界がなくなって幕が破れた気がしたんです。
And then there was a little bit of a boundary, and it felt like the film was torn.
クラナリさんも紐かもしれませんね。
And Kurenari-san might be a leash too. A boundary as well, right? Okay, Google Translate has a hard time with that. It just says a gigolo. Which might be leash. Sora looked at me and gave me a gentle smile. Or maybe it's a string. I stared at Sora's smile. I made a tuna sandwich for dinner. I think the first time I tried to translate it said maybe Takeshi is a string too, I think. That said Tatsuta age is frozen and thawed in the microwave. Okay, so I got it. That's all. Well, I tried to retranslate it. It's still hard to translate. It is what it is. Whatever. So I'm going to exit. Whoops. Save my system data. And the next session I don't even know. Which save is it? Save 1?
ねえ、気になるでしょ？教えてほしいでしょ？
What's save 2? Whoa, the OCR got messed up. Okay. Do a temporary OCR setting change. I slowly open my eyes. And then we're going to pick the opposite one. Okay. One day my eyes were closed before I knew it. Huh? Shouldn't it be green? I slowly opened my eyes. No, the text box is blue. It's not green. Next thing I knew, a red light caught my eye. A pungent smell pierces my nose. The smell is disinfectant. Where am I? Looking around, I saw the scenery of some room or other. For some reason, all the scenery in the room looks like it's lying down. Or things in the room. No. Boku ga, I was sprawled out on my back. Where am I? Oh, that Boku's gonna give me so much trouble. I didn't recognize this room.
気がついた？
Ah, did you notice? As I lay sprawled out on the ground, a shadow fell over me. I looked up to see a girl peering at me worriedly. Who is this person? Who is this girl?
よかった。
I'm so glad.
ねえ、大丈夫？動けそう？
Hey, are you okay? Do you think you can move? Okay. So where is this, right? Is the second option. And the first option is, who are you? But I won't decide today. Whoops. Okay. And we'll see where that CG of you is put in the CG gallery. Oh yeah, there's like 4 images down. Okay. For Tsugumi and stuff. Okay. Cool. Well, my hypothesis is that you cannot actually get into Tsugumi's route until you've done some other route. So I'm going to go into the kids' side and try to trigger a U ending as the kid, because I'm going to suspect that that would trigger sooner than the Sora, easier than the Sora ending. Like they have to, if you have to do them in a specific order, the order would be U first, not Sora. Although you could argue that U's route actually gives you more information. But yeah, they both give you about even amount of information. Just Sora's route seemed like it was a more like a route that was written later. You know what I mean? So we do that, and then we come back we come back for Tsugumi after I'm done. And that will take a while to do, because I have to go through the entire 7-day or 6-day timeline all over again. Ooh. Bye.